Welcome to TechWire, a conversation about technology, politics, and government in California. My name is Christina Gagne, and today I'm joined by Paul Benedetto, the Undersecretary of Operations for the California Technology Agency. Paul, thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much. This is a wonderful event. I'm glad to be here.
So this is the second year of the Mobility Conference, and there's been a lot of transition and traction in terms of mobile application use in California, particularly of the App Store that the California Technology Agency has created. Why is there this focus on apps and building apps for Californians?
First of all, thank you for noticing our mobile app. The focus of the mobility environment that we have at CTA is really to push the apps to the public. You know, our focus isn't necessarily on the apps that we use day to day in our operations, but how we push these apps to the public so they can provide that we can get them the services they need, the services they deserve to support the 39 million Californians. In addition to that, what we've done with our mobile apps, we've put the geospatial kind of that interconnect with the geospatial environment. So what we're also looking at doing is trying to go after business. When business comes to the state of California, we want them to be able to understand that if I go to this region, this area, this is the demographics, this is the population, these are where the schools are, here's the highways and byways, here's what the unemployment rate is, and if I have a Maserati dealership or if I have something else, this is the prime location to do it. Understand what the tax base is, understand what the rules governing how they would build a business in the state of California. That is one of the major purposes of both not only the mobility stuff we want to do and our geospatial world.
And why is mobile so important, considering that California is really trying to also trailblaze in broadband and make sure that there's internet access in people's homes? Why is mobile so important?
It's another great question. Mobility for us and the broadband and digital literacy and education are all a part of a bigger hope for us. We have about 73% of the people now get broadband technologies throughout the state. Our goal within the next 10 years is to raise that to 95%. The reason we want to do that is what mobility and what technology and what digital literacy and education does, it makes, pardon the IBM pun, it makes us a smarter California. With a smarter California, we're able to do things with the people of California for businesses, for the social impact, for society, if we have a smarter California. This gives also people opportunities, the elderly opportunities to get health care online, which is huge, especially with the Affordable Care Act from President Obama. So these are all opportunities that if we could push out technology, if we can make it inexpensive, if we could use services like the services you're developing with Job Scout and Health Scout to push that out to the people of California, we're going to make it a smarter, better state to be in. And therefore we'll have more businesses coming into the state, and it's just a better place. It'll be a better place to live, and I think that's really what our focus is.
So you're in year 2 of all this development, and you're moving forward. What do you see happening 5-10 years from now? How has the landscape shifted thanks to mobility, the use of mobile apps, and this more advanced technology?
I think, I really think that in the next 5 years, that all of our major public-facing applications will be mobile. And more important than mobile, they'll be something else. They will have that geospatial interconnection. They will be able to cross-pollinate with a whole bunch of different other applications out there. I would love to see in the future child welfare or child services, a social worker being able to do all of their casework on a mobile device. Love to be able to see any field investigator or parole agent being able to do all of their work on that device. I think it does a couple of things for us. I think it makes us more competitive. It makes the ability for us to do our jobs better and more efficient. It also creates an environment where we don't have to necessarily spend a lot up front to change our back end. We might be able to slowly change the back end systems, because if we have this mobile application, if we can able to use mobility in the geospatial world in a tablet or forms like that, we might be able to slowly change our back end to meet some of those challenges. And so I think eventually it's going to be cost savings for us. I think eventually that we'll see a lot of cost savings. It'll be the way that we're going to be part of the future. Quite honestly, the younger generation is demanding these types of technologies for us. If we want them in the workforce, if we want their energy and enthusiasm and passion for what they're doing, we need to start doing some of these things. And we need to do them much more quickly than we're doing them now.
And I understand you guys have done much of this in-house, much like a startup that has really amazing ideas for how to leverage information. The California Technology Agency has been acting in a very similar way.
Yes.
Why did you guys make that choice to sort of make that an internal project?
Yeah, it's a combination of, it was actually Scott Gregory and Scott Patterson. All the credit really goes to them. They have great innovation, great ingenuity. And Scott Gregory came to me one day and he said, look, and he goes, if we go outside to do this, it's going to cost us X amount. He goes, I think I could do at least the beginning of this in-house. He goes, but this is what I need. And he laid out a business plan, and it was he and Scott had a very thorough business plan for me. Both Scotts had a very thorough business plan. They said, Paul, this is where we want to take mobility. This is where we want to take the geo portal. They built a little business plan for me. I looked it over. I said, let's do it. And what I did is I kind of got out of their way. I said, you guys go forth and conquer. If you need the resources, you let me know. If you need dollars, you let me know. But this has some great value to the citizens of California. But my goal to them, and my vision for them was, I don't want this to be that we're going to use tablets internally. I don't want this to be a BYOD. I didn't want that to happen. I wanted it to focus on the 39 million Californians, and they've done that. And that's been their kind of their charter.
And there's something that we should look out for in the next year. Is there a project that's kind of behind the scenes that Californians should be looking for?
Well, I can only say next year at this time we will have a lot of exciting things coming out. I think we're going to start doing more with the geo portal and geospatial information with mobility. I think you'll see more and more apps combining that, and we're working a lot more with the departments and the agencies to do this. Both Scott Patterson and Scott Gregory have probably daily meetings with different entities. Tim Garza is one of our biggest fans of looking at how we can build applications that have both the geospatial component and the mobility component, and that's huge for us. And so I think in the future, what you'll see is a tendency to look at not only the device, not only the mobile app, but the ability to be more efficient in that application. I'll give you one example. Case workers for social service programs. What you might see in the future, what we're hoping to see in the future, is not only that they can do the application, or not only they don't have just fill the application or do the casework, but that they know they have 15 different calls that day or stops are made. We can also then map out the best way to get to those calls to make the most efficient use of their time. So that intersection will be fantastic. I think that's what you'll see us doing more. I don't think you're going to see a big bang next year like this year with the Geo Portal, but you'll see a lot of little things that will make a big difference for our customers.
Well, it's great that you've also outlined the value, and that was actually going to be one of my questions, is what is the value? To the individual citizen, at the point of need, what is the value? And you gave a great example with, caseworkers. I mean, these are things that they're able to be out in the field and use the technology. That's very helpful.
A lot of unemployment insurance. If you could do it off your phone. Because one of the cheapest forms of technology is the phone. So when we're talking about broadband, digital literacy, and education, and it's really hard to read documents off a phone, but if you can do off a phone, if you can do your driver's license or your vehicle registration or see the status of unemployment insurance or your unemployment benefits, if you can do that off a phone, that's pretty big, and that helps our customers too. And bringing businesses into California is huge for us. We need to expand and make it easier for us for businesses to come into California and the current businesses to stay here. So that's, we have a lot of goals. Some of them are really lofty. Some of them I don't know if we have the control over, but man, we're going to work really hard to make it easier for people here.
Well, Paul, thank you for joining me once again and for sharing the vision of what's been happening so far in California, as well as where you want to move going forward.
Thank you, Christine. Very nice seeing you again. Take care.
And thank you to our TechWire audience for once again joining us in a conversation about technology, policy, and government in California.